He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This One's Wife. Cooking show, no show. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You will recall that This One's Wife, having had her contract with Spotify terminated, with Bill Simmons describing her and Harry as fucking grifters, then floated around, and despite trying to cause Audible, the arm of Amazon's podcasting, to manifest with a contract for her, found herself being signed up with Lemonada, a media company that not many people had heard of. Decent publicity for Lemonada. It may well have caused people then to look at their other offerings. And of course, Arcee Wipes was then moved across to there. The expectation was that at some juncture during 2024, This One's Wife would start to create some content, and that we would all be entertained, more likely from the point of view of being able to ridicule her, by listening to this series of podcasts from her on the new Lemonada media. However, not long after the deal was announced, undoubtedly the appropriate executives at Lemonada were already cursing being markled, as This One's Wife simply explained that she was too busy to undertake content creation for them because she was busy with Netflix filming a cookery show. So already, without having produced anything for them, she'd managed to piss them off by saying, "I can't do anything for you, going to have to be 2025. Typical behaviour of This One's Wife. She gets the publicity from announcing the deal, but doesn't actually deliver anything. I very much doubt that any money has exchanged hands, given the size of Lemonada and the fact they've not received anything, and one would expect, given what they'd witnessed in relation to Spotify, that they may well have been somewhat more prudent with regard to how she would be paid, probably more as a pay-as-you-go arrangement. Nevertheless, there was another organisation that had found itself subjected to the fact that This One's Wife does not deliver. And I've explained to you previously why it is that she doesn't deliver. It's because she's inherently lazy, and, very simply, she believes that because it's her, things will just happen. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And it's deluded and part of her magical thinking. But she believes that if she turns up, there'll be lots of people there because she can't see that she's unpopular. She believes that she's much loved. She's simply the case of, if I'm there, it'll happen, people will do what's needed to be done, it'll just occur. That somehow a lifestyle brand will suddenly be created overnight and there'll be hordes of people wanting to purchase items because it's her. You all know that the creation of content, the creation of brands, the creation of companies takes a lot of hard work. She isn't down for the hard work because of her sense of entitlement. Nevertheless, it would appear that she was getting on with a cookery show. The cookery show was going to be shown on Netflix, perhaps as the parting show and enabling her to receive a further tranche of payment from the streaming giant. There was some news about it taking place, not at the Monty Shit Show mansion, but she'd hired somebody else's property to do this, which was where there was a cannabis farm as well, so undoubtedly Harry was like a pig in shit because of that. However, will this cookery show actually see the light of day? After all, This One's Wife's track record isn't particularly encouraging in that regard. She was going to march on Washington with Gloria Steinem. Nothing happened. She was going to seize the banner of seeking parental leave, and other than writing some idiotic letters to senators, she got nowhere with all of that. She was meant to do the 40 by 40 scheme, which she'd copied from elsewhere. Nothing came of it. She was meant to create lots of content for Spotify. She created one series of archetypes, which was rubbish, and was largely the work of other people doing the interviewing rather than it being her. She was going to be a prolific author. She managed the Bench of Stench, which was a children's book that no child would actually enjoy reading. She was going to ensure that there was plenty of brilliant content provided for Netflix. and all that they came up with was the moderately successful Harry and This One's Wife series, much of its success as a consequence of grudge watching, and thereafter Live to Lead, which didn't actually do anything, and some programme about Invictus that wasn't particularly interesting either. Beyond that, they've created nada, and certainly were not living up to the price tag that had been associated with the contract. Given the fact that This One's Wife thinks that things will just appear automatically, and we've seen repeatedly, this isn't speculation, this is based upon what she's actually failed to do, that we've seen repeatedly that she starts something and never ever finishes it, what's the likelihood that the cookery show will see the light of day? How many episodes have been filmed? How much involvement does she have in it? Is she actually doing the cooking, or is somebody else brought in to do that? Does she just stand there and wank on about the ingredients for a bit, perhaps crack an egg, maybe wave at Harry while he's juggling his balls outside of the window? Well, we might find out. But her track record is not encouraging, and which suggests to my mind that this cookery show won't actually ever be broadcast. What else is problematic about it? Well, notwithstanding the fact that she has no diligence or endeavour, a major problem is that this cookery show was meant to be about cross-selling to American Riviera Orchard. The idea, understandably, would be that This One's Wife was using the cookery show to showcase American Riviera Orchard retirement homes, so she would be there, with her apron on, with the masturbating octopus on it and American Riviera Orchard, that she would be using an American Riviera Orchard rolling pin, only $69.99 in the online shop, and that she would be cracking eggs into an American Riviera Orchard branded bowl, yours for $49.99, and that she would be using a range of ingredients that she had curated specifically from artisan providers and not mass-produced in China, that she would then sell to you for inflated amounts. The whole point, and there's nothing wrong with doing this, would be to utilise her cookery programme as a device to showcase what was available at American Riviera Orchard, so that those that were duped by her would watch and think, yeah, I really need to ensure that I get myself an American Riviera Orchard garlic crusher. Every house should have one. Ooh, look, just what I need. A pestle and mortar, though I dare say they would call it a push and mush, bearing the masturbating octopus. That would look really good at the back of a cupboard. Accordingly, this was going to showcase American Riviera Orchard. But as you know, American Riviera Orchard is doing the square root of fuck all at the moment. It remains on Instagram with its number of followers dropping, with the jam scam and nothing else. No CEO, no date provided as to when it will actually go live, no information about when the products will be available, no suggestion of supply networks set up in that regard. And therefore, if the cookery programme is going to be about cross-selling American Riviera Orchard, it hasn't got anything to cross-sell to, because American Riviera Orchard is simply an Instagram account, and some jars of jam, and some lemons. That's it. Therefore, to my mind, given the fact that 1, she never completes endeavours, and 2, American Riviera Orchard looks like it's dead, what's the point of the cookery programme? I don't think that they'll ever see the light of day, because the executives at Netflix will say, well, what's the point? It's meant to be linked into American Riviera Orchard. That's not doing anything. It's not got off the ground. That makes the cookery programme look ridiculous. Indeed, if it's been filmed by referencing American Riviera Orchard with the expectation of saying, here's these particular cloves, you'll be able to buy them on American Riviera Orchard, details on your screen now, and there is no American Riviera Orchard clothes to purchase, what's the point of the programme? You'd have to can it. Thus, it would appear that once again, her narcissism, her sense of entitlement, her laziness, all of that generated by her narcissism will result in the likelihood that this cooking show is going to be a no-show. Do you agree with me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.